In this video, we are going to discuss about method overriding in Java. So let us try to see the documentation for method overriding. Uh, So in a class hierarchy, when a method in a subclass has the same name and type signature as a method in its superclass, then the method in the subclass is said to override the method in the superclass. That is, when the name of the method in the subclass and the argument list and the return type of the method in the superclass as well as in the subclass is the same, then the subclass method tends to override or hide the method declared in the superclass. When an overridden method is called from within its subclass, it will always refer to the version of that method defined by the subclass. The version of the method defined by the superclass will be hidden. Let us do one example for it. Let me open a new project. Java overriding. Click on finish. So here I'm going to write one class A, and in this class A I'm going to write one method that is public integer. I'm writing declare one object that is integer x, and then I'm writing one method that is public void show, and here I'm writing system dot out dot print ln the value of x equals plus x. Okay, now I'm going to write one more class B extends A. Inside this, I'm going to write another variable that is int y. Now I'm writing I'm writing an exact copy of the method declared in the superclass, that is public void show. And I'm writing system dot out dot print ln the value of y equals plus y. Okay, so I have written like this. I'm going to pass one value here, that is int x, and here I'll write this dot x is equal to x, and here I will write int y, and then I'll write this dot y is equal to y. Okay, now I'm going to create an object of B class here in the public static void main, that is B is equal to new of B, and then I'm calling B dot what was the name of the method? B dot show, that is B dot show of int y. So show of 3. I'm passing one integer value. Now let me just say this thing. run file, the value of y is equal to 3. So even though I have written two methods, that is the superclass method also falls into the subclass, but they have, since they have the same name and signature, that is everything is the same in both. The argument list, that is integer argument, is being passed into both the methods. The name of the method is common in both the cases. It is show. The return type is common and the access specifier is public in the cases. So it is exactly a same copy of the method in the superclass as well as in the subclass. In such cases, when the name and the type signature happens to be the same, the name, the return type and the signature happens to be the same, then what happens is that the subclass method overrides the superclass method. That is, this version of the method is never shown. This part of the method is not shown. Only the subclass object will only calls its own version of the method. This is what is called as method overriding in Java. Now let us move on to the PPT. Usage of method overriding. Method overriding is used to provide the specific implementation of a method which is already provided by its superclass. It is used to provide, repeat this, it is used to provide the specific implementation of a method which is already provided by its superclass. Method overriding is used for runtime polymorphism. I'll be explaining polymorphism in a separate video. So I will just write the specific implementation. Let us do a more practical example for this. That is, let me expand my NetBeans. I'm going to do a bank program. So file, let me do under this overriding new Java class, new class, click on finish. And let me create a class bank and then return. I'll write a method that is public int get rate of interest, and then you can write a return statement here. And that is return 0. Now I am writing one more class, that is class HSBC extends bank, and in that I'm going to copy an exact extends bank, this is capital B, return HSBC is giving me 7% interest, so return 7, and then class standard chartered extends bank, class standard chartered extends bank, and then let us copy paste this, return 8, and then class Bank of Scotland extends bank, and then so these are the cases, class bank, and each case I'm just giving the highest rate of interest, that is bank 9. Then let me declare public static void main string argus, public static void main string argus, and create an object of all these banks. That is, first one is HSBC HSBC, H is equal to new of HSBC, and then integer rate is equal to H dot get rate of interest, and then system dot out dot print ln the interest of HSBC is plus rate. Okay, and then I'll declare an object of the other bank, which is Bank of Scotland. Bank of Scotland BS is equal to new of Bank of Scotland, and then just copy pasting it. Integer rate is equal to BS dot get rate of interest integer rate 2 is equal to rate 2. And then what is other bank? The other bank is Standard Chartered. So Standard Chartered SC is equal to new of Standard Chartered, and then integer rate 3 is equal to SC dot get rate of interest, the rate of interest of Standard Chartered is rate 3. Rate 3. The interest of Bank of Scotland, Bank of Scotland, Standard Chartered of Standard Chartered. Okay, so that's it. Now let me just save this and run this new class.java run file. You'll be able to see the output here. So you can see the interest of HSBC 7, the interest of Bank of Scotland is 9, and the interest of Standard Chartered is 8. So this is a perfect example for method overriding in Java. So what is the method which I had written in the superclass? It is get rate of interest. The return type is int and the access specifier is public. And you can see the exact copy of the method I have made in the subclasses as overridden. I have written 3 subclasses, which is inherited from the class bank, that is HSBC, Standard Chartered, and Bank of Scotland. I have created an object, and each object calls its own respective version. It never overrides or never calls the superclass version. That is what is meant by method overriding in Java. Now let us go on to the documentation part. So I have showed you 2 examples for method overriding. So let us move on to the documentation. So rules for method overriding. The method must have the same name as in the parent class. So whatever name the method has in the superclass, the same name should be there in the subclass. In the program which we did just now, the name of the method was rate of interest in all the classes. The method must have the same parameter as in the parent class. That is the arguments that you pass inside. We have passed integer arguments. Okay. So the methods must have the same parameter as in the parent class, and there must be an easier relationship. That is, there should be some inheritance should be there in the program. Then only you can apply method overriding. A superclass and a subclass should be there. Then only you can apply method overriding in Java. Now let us move on to another important. There are some rules for method overriding from Java version 1.5 onwards. There is something called as covariant return types. The covariant return type specifies that the return type may vary in the subclass. That is, the return type of the method can vary if it is a covariant return type. Let us try to understand it by doing a program. Let me maximize this NetBeans. So here I'm going to write one more class, new Java class, and that is new covariant class. Program to demonstrate covariant return types in overriding. Program to demonstrate covariant return types in overriding. So let me write one class here, that is class A. So inside this class A get, and then I am writing return this. Okay, class A1 I am writing return this. So this one is A1. A1 get return this, and then I'm writing class B extends A1, class B extends A1, and inside this class B extends B1. I'll write class B1 extends A1, and then here the return type is B1. Get. I'm overriding exactly the same method, but I'm returning a different object, as you can see. Return this. So what is the thing? You see, earlier when I had written method overriding, the return type was of the method was also the same in the superclass as well as in the subclass. But if it is a covariant data type, that is, if the return type is is a non-primitive or a covariant. What is non-primitive? It is not integer or float or double. It is an object. What is this? What is the meaning of get? A1 get means once I call the get method, I am getting an object of A1 class. Once I'm calling the get method, I'm getting an object of B1 class. So you can see that the return type differs in both in the superclass as well as the subclass. But this is a perfect example for method overriding. That is, as far as a covariant return type is concerned, the return type can be different in the superclass as well as in the subclass if the return type is of covariant type. That is, if the return type is an object, it can differ in the superclass and the subclass. The rest of the method should not be referred. The signature and the argument list should be the same. Now let me write public static void main. String argument s, and public static void main string argument s, and in this you create an object of the B1 class. B1 B is equal to new of B1, and then I'm calling B dot get method. You can see the pop-up here. So B dot get. Let me just save this and let me just run this. Run the file. You can see the output. We just drag this upwards. Oh, so I should write some, is because this is returning this. I should write one some print state, then only you'll be able to see the output. That is system dot out dot print ln inside B. Just going to copy this. Inside A, and here it is inside B. Now if you save this and this new COVID run file, you can see that the B's version has been, so B's version is overridden here. That is overriding has happened, method overriding has happened. Get is the method which got overridden in the subclass. So as far as covariant data types are concerned, then the return type should not be matching. That is, you can have different object types in as far as covariant data types are concerned. Let me do one more example for the same. New Java class. So I'll write new demo. Click on finish. So class A, class A2, and inside this you are writing object. Object is a superclass of all classes in Java. So object get, and then I'm writing return this inside the class A2, and then I'm writing one more class, and that is class B2, which extends A2, and in this object get, and then return, not object, I'm going to write a subclass of object. Object is a superclass of all classes in Java, and string is a subclass of objects, a predefined built-in class of Java. These are built-in or predefined classes which exist in the Java package. So string is a subclass of the object class. So I'm writing a subclass of this object, and then I'm writing here string return. I can return a string. So return hello from covariance. Like this, return hello from covariance, put semicolon, then error will go. Now here you declare public static void main, public static void main string args, and create an object of B2 class. B2 B is equal to new of B2, and then I'm writing new of capital B2, and then I'm writing B dot what, B dot get. Should collect it in one variable, put semicolon, string, because it is returning a string, I should collect in string s is equal to B dot get, and then print that value here, system dot out dot print ln s. Let me just save this. Let me just run this new demo dot java, run file, and you can see this output, that is hello from covariance. So this is because here you can see an exact matching of the return type is not there, but string is an object of, string is a subclass of this object class. String class is an subclass of the object class. Only subclasses of the, you're not supposed to write any class here. Only subclasses of this object class should be written as the return type of the get method in the subclass. Let me repeat once more. Here object is the return type of the get method in the superclass, and object is a predefined class in the Java. It is a superclass of all the Java classes. Okay, now I am supposed to write only subclasses of object, has many subclasses like string, string buffer, etc. Okay, so I am supposed to write according to the rules. I am supposed to write only the subclasses of the object, only subclasses of object class. Okay, should be written here as the return type of the get method. I cannot write whichever class I want. Okay, only subclasses of the object class should be returned here. So even though it does not match, it is a subclass of the superclass. Okay, so this will work. So this rule was imposed only from Java version 1.5 onwards. So if you are having a non-primitive return type, then they need not match. It has to be a subclass of the of the of whichever return type you write in the superclass. Now let us move on to the PPT. I would like to show you one more thing, that is how to prevent method overriding in Java. So let us create one more class here, new Java class, new final class. I'll write this new final class. So I'll write using final to prevent method overriding. Suppose I don't want one function to be overridden, then what should I do? So let us write one class A here, class A. Inside this class A, I am writing one method, public void display, and then I am writing public void display class A3, system dot inside system dot out dot println superclass display, okay. Now I'm writing one more class here, that is class B3 extends A3, class B3 extends A3. Now if method overriding should happen, what should I do? I should copy an exact, I'm copying this method as such, and I'm a subclass display, subclass or child class display. Okay. Now I'll write public static void main string args, and in this I'll be creating an object of B3. B is equal to new of B3, and then string, this has to be capital, that's why I'm getting this error, string args, and then I'll write b dot display, Now so let me run this new final class.java run file. So subclass, so you can see that only the subclass, the method overriding happened, and this particular version only will be called. Now suppose I want to call the A's display also, then what should I do? Then I should add one more statement here in the subclass method, that I should write like this, that is super dot display. Then the superclass version will also be called. Let us save this and run the program and see the output. So superclass display is also shown and subclass display is shown. What is the thing I used? I used the keyword super. Once I use the keyword super and call the display, then this particular method overriding, then this particular version of the superclass will also be called. Okay. So that is one way. Now, suppose I don't want display to be overridden here in the subclass. Then if I make this as final, then I have one choice. I can make this as final. The moment I make this as final, you will get an error here. You see? So final is the keyword that can be used in a method if you don't want to override it in the subclasses down the or below the hierarchy. If you don't want the subclasses to override the methods declared in the superclass, then you have to add the keyword final. So final is a very important keyword in Java, which is used to prevent method overriding. That is, you don't have the permission. If I remove this, you can see that the error disappears. But if I add that final, then you will get the red line. That is, you are not supposed to override a method declared as final. See, you see this in the yellow box, add at override annotation. Cannot override display, overridden method is final. So final is the keyword that is being used in Java to prevent method overriding. Then I would also like to show the use of private. So I'll remove this final for the time being. Now, if I make, suppose I write one more method here, that is private void show. Private void m1, one method I have written, okay. And then I'm written system dot out dot print ln inside m1, okay, something I have written. So and then if I try to override this, this cannot be overridden, okay. This public void, I mean, if it is private means it will not be available down. That is, I cannot write like private void. Here I cannot write private, I'll write void m1. It will not be inherited. This will not be inherited below, okay. This method overriding will not happen if it is declared as private, because private members cannot be inherited below. So if what I will do is, I have written a function like private, okay, that is private void m1, and then if I try to call this using this b dot m1, I cannot call a private method, I will get an error. You see, you are getting an error. Why? Because cannot find symbol, because method m1 is declared as private in the superclass. So it will not be available to the object of the subclass. Okay. So private methods are not available to the objects. If you create, even if you create object of the class, it will not be available. Private methods will not be available even to the objects of its own class. So subclass will not have, also not have any access to the private members declared. Okay. So final is the keyword that is used to prevent method overriding. If you don't want any methods to be overridden, then you can declare it as private. Okay. All the other methods will be available to the object. So that's all in this video. Thank you so much for watching.